Hello. Sorry, I almost forgot to push start. I was looking for my little doohickey thingy here because I was going to start some foiling on the background while we said hellos. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Not sure where you guys can hear an echo, but I hope not. Wait for my TV to catch up here a minute. Hello, Karen. Hello, Walter. There's a little bit of an echo today. I don't know why. My phone, I think, is being dumb. Let me see if I can make sure it's turned off or turned down. Okay. There. Can you guys hear me? All right. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, for some reason, my phone is telling me it's playing. So hopefully we're all okay. Hopefully you guys can't hear that too much. So, hi. Hope you had a great week. It's been kind of a crazy one here. You have to forgive me my disheveledness today. I have wet hair, no makeup on. Hi, Kate. I came home from work. I got off a little early. My boss told me I could go home a little early, which I was like, thank you. It was 100 degrees today, and I was hot, and I spent a lot of it outside. Spent a little bit inside taking some pictures for him for a listing he was having, and the people didn't have their air conditioning on, so it was hot. I mean, it wasn't on, like it wasn't. It was cooler than outside, but the air conditioning wasn't low, and I wasn't going to turn it on because I didn't want to forget to turn it back off. So I hope everyone had a great week. All right, we're going to get started here in just a minute. I want to just do a sample quick foil before y'all saw what I did so I could see if I know what I'm doing here. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to quick switch my cameras around. And there is a bundle tonight I created. It is $60.94, and in it is the Tiny Terror creative cards, the Rainbow Leaves washi, the Creepy Borders acetate. I have two sets here. That's why they're like that. Jack-o'-lantern cardstock, penny embossing powder, and then I have the Grateful stamp and coordinating die again. I don't know if we're going to use the stamp for sure. We might. Definitely going to use the die. And then somebody on the fan club group wanted to know about the look for them in the leaves stamp and die set. The stamp set is no longer available. Still available. So I included that. So yeah, it's steamy and hot here, Penny. Hi, Francie. So I think I said, hi, Amanda. 3 Mile walk. Amanda, I would be dead because it's like 100 degrees out. It's raining right now. And I will tell you that you guys will have to let me know if you can hear the thunder because it thundered. My craft room was shaking. It was so thundery. So if you haven't seen the creative cards yet, I'm going to, the Tiny Terror ones, we're just going to kind of look through them real quick. I already chose one. There's some fun scenes. Walter has a fabulous card using this acetate and one of these that kind of, I didn't want to use the same acetate because I didn't want to think I was like doing the same thing you did because I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm not. Hi, Luann. Hi, Pam. So here are just some of the cards. I'm kind of going through them very quickly, but they're super fun. I am excited because my subscriptions will be here tomorrow. So I can't wait to start playing with them and making you guys some great projects with those. So anyway, I just want to kind of go through those real quick. You get 36 creative cards per pack, and I wanted to use the Tiny Terrors tonight. The acetate. I have 2 sheets. So what I do when I get them, I cut the top off and I combine any of my washi, my dual foils, or my acetate. So in it, you'll get 2 sheets of acetate, and then you get this backer piece. And this backer piece you can use with or by itself. And then it has some instructions about that if you want to do that. So we're going to use this tonight. And then I have not actually foiled any of the dual foil washi. So tonight is my very first time. So we're going to do that tonight too. So let's do some foiling quick. Well, yes, at the end, I'll share you some cards. I did some dual foiling cards. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish this card. We're going to make we're going to make a book card. So I'm going to finish this one. This was my sample to make sure I knew how to put it together at the end, but we're going to make our Halloween one first. I did include, this is the crisp autumn paper pad. I did include that in the collection on the, if you go to Candi, the collection's Candi's Live. There are a couple other things in the collection that aren't in the bundle just because I might use them tonight. But let's start. What I did first was cut all my dual foils and acetates down into A2 size. It is a pretty dual foil. I'm excited. We're gonna do, I think we're gonna do green. This is the one I want to use. Let's see if I can show it to you. This is the one I want us to use tonight. I think this is going to be fun. And I have one of my I found my Gina Case carrier sheets just for you guys. And I think for fun, we're going to do green, if that's okay. I think that's fun. I don't know for sure. I think these might be Gina K foils, but I wanted green. And I didn't want green sketch because I wanted it to be beautiful. What was beautiful? The card? If that was the card, thank you. I actually saw a sample being made on a reel yesterday. Oh, that's orange. This must be a little sample pack that came, I think, with some of Gina K's. And we're going to use this beautiful. I think this is jelly bean green. And I wrote the instructions down on how to make the card and thought last night I don't remember what were we watching on TV. And I was so tired. I told Tom, I said, I'm running upstairs, and I sat down at the table and I quickly made a sample just so that I had one to look at and make sure I knew what I was doing, make it look like I know what I'm doing half the time. So with this acetate, you can tell, you can feel it. This side is super smooth. This side you can feel the printing on. So that's the side that the foil is going to go on. I'm going to go ahead. I'm using a fuse, and I have mine set on, it's on 3 right now. So hopefully, I usually do 4, but I did do 3 tonight. And while that's going through, I already did one with a pewter lane. And this is, oh, thank you, Walter. Thank you. I really thought it was real fun. I wanted to showcase that pattern paper. 1, 2, 3. Go. I'll pull up a piece of paper here so you can see it. This is part of that acetate. And I use the pewter on it because it's glass. So I feel like it needs to be not a color and it's not black. So in person, as I shine it, you're not going to see it too much. You can kind of see it. There's a little bit of iridescent, but it's our pewter lane foil. And then I can use this on some toner sheets and then do another color to make it for fun. So I think that's kind of fun, but I wanted to do one and see how it worked with my color because I have not done these before. So, all right, let's get that out of the way. We're waiting for that one to come through, and then we're going to do some foiling on our dual foil washi sheets. We're going to let that cool for a minute. And then for this one, I thought I would do some of the orange sketch because we have the green already in here. And what I did is I just cut it in half, and because it's basically at 5.5, and I have a tiny little piece that might have, but I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to throw this in and put this in. I'm going to put it in like this. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to foil. Actually, do I have another sheet? I might grab a small sheet here because there's just a little bit of overhang here. Let's see. I want to do the whole thing. And these are 6x6 squares. I cut all my foil down to 6x6 squares. So it's not going to be perfect. If you have it in the long sheets like ours come in, you can cut it to match. But I cut mine down to 6x6 squares. So I'm just going to layer it over like this. And we're going to just lay it over like this. And it will be just fine. And then we'll stick it through. Okay. So, all right, let's let that run through. I might run that through 2 times because it's on a thicker than the acetate. Machine grab that. And then, are you ready? I can already see the stuff. 1, 2, 3, go. Look at how fun that is. It's okay. So there's a couple spots here that I didn't foil it perfectly. because I probably could have done the 4 and it might have been a little bit better. There's a little overfoiling too, but that might be from my just in general, and I just can wipe that off a little bit. But I need to try a fuse. I'm so tired of making, Pam, I had a Royal Sovereign and I just decided, I think Christopher got some fuses in and I went for it. I probably should not erase that. I think I scratched this a little bit, but I'm okay with that. So I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's super cool. Look at how cool that is. And the one thing that's nice, I will tell you, if you're not a Halloween card person, you don't need to be perfect because it's Halloween. So I'm going to turn it up a degree before I take this out and run this through one more time. And then my thoughts are, what we're going to do is we're going to put this over, and I'm going to use this piece and we're going to cut it off. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to cut part of it down, but look at how cool this is. I do too, Francie. I love my fuse. I'm hearing some thunder. I mean, you could do it however you wanted, but I just want to use this little piece. I really want that spider. And then I can actually cut this off and I can use this on another panel since I'm going to use such a small thing. Yeah, so that is what we're going to do. We're going to let this get warmed up here. And I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. And then I have this cut down. So here is the sample. This is the backer sheet that came in with those acetate. And so there's some with spiders and there's some with just webs. And you can just literally, you can combine them together like this and have such a fun, beautiful card. Or here's one with that spider. And if I go this way with it. Now, I will tell you, I am horrible at measurements. Horrible at measurements. Like as in eyeballing things. So I got to turn my fuse so it doesn't catch in the wall because that's longer. I did not cut my piece appropriately. I wasn't paying attention to my cutter, but I'm okay with that because I tend to like a lot of borders. So this, I could make this 4 by 5 1/4. So I was okay with that. Same thing with if I cut this a little bit wrong, like a little bit shy right there, I'll just trim it off and make it. So, oh, I hope this hot stuff's not coming your way. It's going to be 100 the next couple of days here. So, all right. Well, the dual foil is going through. We're going to start on our card. I have this handy dandy little note that has all my measurements. I'm going to pull it up close. And if you need to take a screenshot, like if you pause it later, take a screenshot. What does it say? What happened to my view? It fell on the floor. But I will talk about them again. Yeah, Francie, it was 92 at one point. And like I said, I was out and I was wearing a long dress because I figured I'd be inside all day and the air would be cold. I had short sleeves, but a long dress. It was a thin dress, but oh, I was sweating. Okay, I got my dual foil up here. Let's turn that off. All right, so this is 11 by 4 1/4. So just, you cut your 8.5 by half, and we're going to put this in. Now, I wasn't loving the measurements, but I'm going to use the measurements that she used. We're going to score at 5.5. And then I need to score it at 7, but I don't have a 7 on my scoreboard here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this in my 4, my score mark, because that was 5.5. And then I can go up. Wait, no, how did I do this before? I did it before like this. I did it. So I need to go 1.5 inches, right? So I'm going to put this at my 4 and go up 1.5. And that's not right. So this is 5.5. This would be 6, 6.5, 7. Yeah, 5.5. So I was not thrilled with this. So I'm going to change my measurements briefly down. I'm going to go down to the 5. She had 5.5 by 7. I think 7 was a little long. So I'm going to do 5.5 by 6. Okay. 5.5 by, or 6.5. It's 5.5 by 6.5. I think that's a better measurement because it was so thick. It works, but I want to do it skinnier. So, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to fold it in half. I'm going to fold it backwards because this is going to be our little book. Okay. We're going to just burnish those 2 folds. That to me feels a little better It's not perfect. I mean, you can do the 5.5 by 7, but I like this thin, a little bit thinner. Okay. Especially if I'm going to use that washi tape, because the washi tape will fit perfectly. Do you see how much space there was between? I probably should have matted a piece of cardstock underneath to make it, you can pop some more because there's so much of that orange, but it's not that important. So the first thing we're going to do is get our dual foil washi sheets. Hopefully it foiled. Oops, part of it already came out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, we paused. Okay, there we go. It's so pretty. And I chose this washi sheet because this is going this way. I wanted to make sure I didn't have something like the ghosts. I loved the ghosts, but I thought the ghosts would go the wrong direction on my card. So I wanted to use one of these. And I'm just going to go ahead and peel one of these off. And what I did is I folded it and I put just a little bit. I don't care about the edge. I'm going to put the edge up at the top and I'm just eyeballing it through the middle. Hopefully I can do this straight. Like I said, I am horrible at straight things. And then when I get down to here, I'm going to take my scissors and cut it off right here, which still gives me a little piece that I can use for something. I don't know what. We've got those washi maps that have the small pieces, and I'm going to fold it over. So we've got that perfect little, and like I said, it's kind of crooked. Please ignore that. So I'm going to write that down that I changed this to score at 5.5 by 5 or by 6. That was what I wanted to do instead. Okay. Then I did grab some ribbon, and I don't know where I put it now. Oh, I left it over on the other side of the table. Excuse me. I did grab some black ribbon to throw in here. I have this light orange ribbon too, but I think I'm going to go with this this black ribbon. This is just cheap big box store ribbon. I don't have a lot of ribbon. I gave a lot of it to my mom a while back, but I kept some colors just for this because I don't do a lot of ribbon on my card. And all I'm going to do is line it up, and I'm going to use some double-sided tape and tape it in the side in here. It's going to be sandwiched, so it's going to be okay. But yeah, it's supposed to be 100 the next 2 days. So I just was talking to Tom, and I said that the dog and I are probably going to get up and go for our walk before he even gets up or before he leaves for work tomorrow, because I want to get there and get back. And I know, and we might have some work done, and I don't want to be there if the workmen are there because Fletch could get hurt. And of course I don't want that to happen. It should have been 6. Let me check. Thanks, Penny. Keeping me on my thing. Yep, 6.5, not 6. Okay, thanks, Penny. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope nobody's following along. 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. See, math not good today. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it over and kind of eyeball it, center it as much as you can. If you were a bow person and you could use twine, you could tie some bows up. On the other side, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to leave it plain. And then I'm just going to grab a little bit more double-sided adhesive and stick it down right over the top. Of course, this is tear tape. It's supposed to be easy tear tape, but it's being difficult tonight. And then I'm also, once I tear that off, I'm also going to throw in a little bit of liquid glue. Just to give me a tiny bit of wiggle room, make sure I get it nice and flat. Thank you very much for paying attention, Penny. I was not. But I guess, that's the worst thing I did tonight. All right. Ugh, yeah, that's just hot. So then all I'm going to do is fold it right back on that score line and press it in. Okay. And that is our card base. Okay. So, I mean, you can do so much and do so many colors with these. It's so fun. And I think if you really wanted to, You could probably do a little bit of just double-sided adhesive here and there and stick a gift card in the center of it or some money sticking out of that so they could pull it out, which would be fun. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. We don't need the scoreboard anymore. Now, when I was kind of playing around before the live, I have a lot of stuff here I don't need. So like I said, this is going to go on here, but obviously that is way too small. So we're going to pull in another little color, or we're going to pull in another little something, because this is the front of our card. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do something so that we can have a little bit of extra. Actually, maybe what we'll do instead, I'm changing my mind, is we're going to put a dual foil strip on the other side. And I'm going to pull the next one, and we're going to eyeball it and try to make them match as much as they can. You know, kind of line up so they're aesthetically looking the right way. That looks good to me. But this one, instead of folding it over, which I could still do and cover up the inside, I'm just going to snip it off. And then this little teeny piece, I'm actually going to throw away. And then this little tiny piece, I will save. And put it right back there. And then we've got this fun piece that we can put between our pieces. And then we've got this to go on top. So we're going to try to jerry-rig this up a little bit, because I really don't have the perfect way for doing acetate. I don't know if I have any. I have sticky dots. We'll try sticky dots tonight from Thermoweb. So this piece, I want it to match. So it is just over 3 inches. So I'm going to go over to the just over 3 inches, because we can always cut it down a little bit. And then we're going to see how well did I do. I did pretty good. We're over a little bit, but once we get it in, we can chop it off a little bit. Okay. We're going to stick it down now. So look at how cool that looks. All right. So I've got these awesome sticky dots. They are from Thermoweb. I know I have unopened one somewhere, but every once in a while I just throw this in my cart because they're not super expensive. I think they're under $5. And you get 12 sheets, and they've got all those little fun little dots on them. And so what you do is you just pull it back. And the dots are on this side. I can see them. So I need to stick this side down. I'm going to pull it back as far as I can, because I can do the whole sheet. And then I'm going to lay this piece back down and rub. Okay. Hopefully I did this the right way. I look like the dots were there because, you know, they're clear dots. They're hard to see. I'm just going to rub it down, and then we're going to pull it back. And there's lots of little dots left. So you don't have to, this sheet doesn't have to be thrown away. I can save this. I'm going to put it back in there. And then what we're going to do is you can kind of see the dots. It kind of looks kind of hard to see. Yeah, see there, you can see them there. What we're going to do is we're going to line it up in this corner the best I can. I got to concentrate for a minute here. And then we're just going to rub it down all over. Okay. But what's great about the stick, yes, it does, Francie, but except with the sticky dots, I mean, look, you kind of see them, but I can kind of see them, but I guess there's so many of them in person, like you can see them down here, but it's really hard for you guys to see on camera. And I can kind of see them, but not enough for me to be like, oh, that's adhesive. It looks like it's just kind of part of the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. Trim the extra pieces off. My trimmer is loose. I had it pop off on me a while ago, like a year or so ago, and I have not gotten a tool and gone and fixed it. So I've been tightening it by finger And I think I have it. I think I have pieces put together backwards, and that's why it's doing that. Okay. Let's throw those little pieces away. And then, yeah, they really do. And so you really can't see them. So now we're just going to glue this down. And then, of course, we need some sort of greeting. And I do not have any of my Halloween sets out right now. And most of the stuff I have that's Halloween is out of stock or is discontinued or retired. So I figured I went through and found, I'm just eyeballing this. So I have a little bit of same of the yellow on each side. So it's a little bit different version than this one, but still very fun. Different kind, but different because you have that. And then this is where inside, so I have I'll tell you the measurements here, but the inside piece would be 4 inches by 3 3/4 is what this said. So I just have some, I don't know if it's Not Your Mama's. I think it is. It feels like it is. And I'm going to cut that down. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4 and make sure this is the right size by 4. And I think we're going to put our sentiment on the inside instead of outside because we want that picture. And yeah, and then it just fits in here. You know, you can make it bigger if you want. I like it like this so that it's got that nice orange border. So we're going to put our sentiment on here. And what I did is I pulled the occasional greetings. There's Happy Halloween. There is Ghostly Greetings on here. And I am going to go with the Ghostly Greetings, even though there's no ghosts on this one, just because I think that's fun. And that will be the first card. You don't see any dots. No, you really can't. I mean, in person, if I look really hard, I feel like I can see some dots on there. But I also didn't take my bone folder like this and really rub on it. But I don't think somebody's not, unless somebody's really nitpicking, they're never going to know unless they're like, ooh, you're not going to see it because it does look like kind of a pattern in the on the paper. So, all right, I'm going to grab this. Don't forget, it is Freebie Friday. So with a $50 purchase, there is a die called the Reveal Tag, I believe is what it was called. I don't think that was quite centered. And then there are some tags you can add on that you can use to cut. Christopher showed it last night. It automatically adds to your cart. And it's good till tomorrow night. There's also a bunch of events over on the event page. There are on BrutusMonroeEvents.com, there is the Halloween and Christmas advent calendars. And I actually ordered them. I'm super excited. I've never done an advent calendar for any crafty thing. I've done candy ones when I was little. I haven't done one in a long time, and I'm going to be a really good girl, and I'm going to open it every single day, and I'm going to do a video. I might get behind, but I'm going to open it every single day and make a video with every item that's in there. That's my goal this year, okay? So you guys can try to hold me to that. I have to decide, though, if I want to do my Halloween ones from the 1st to the 13th, or I want to do it up to Halloween. I haven't decided that part yet. And then there is the no, it's not called the Ghostly Greetings. It's called what is it called? I'm going to tell you. Wait, what happened? Undo that. I want that shortcut there. Those are $50. And then there's, the Halloween Advent Calendar, the Holiday Advent Calendar. There's the Tricks and Treats Virtual Halloween Event, which is a live class Halloween box and event. There's the Halloween Glow Box and class. You can just get the box, or you can get the box in class. There is a stenciling technique class with Christopher, which is virtual, and we're going to do stenciling techniques. And those stencils will only be available in the class for now. And then, of course, there's the Everyday Card Making SVG virtual class. And then we also have the Fall into the Holidays event, which is September 27th. So those are all on the event page if you're interested. So I just wanted to kind of make sure I say those things so I don't forget, because sometimes I do. The link in the description is for the bundle, and it is an affiliate link, which just means if you click on it and place an order from that link, you know, even if you go off and to other parts of the store and you order something, I get a small kickback, which, you know, or a small little compensation thing that helps me purchase more stuff and bring more stuff for you. So, you know, well, thank you if you do. You can also use my code Sugar Cards by Candi, all one word, and it will get you a small discount on items that qualify. However, you may have to log out to use it, especially if you're a subscriber. So, all right. So here's card number 1. What do you guys think? Pretty simple, considering we did some foiling and acetate. Doesn't take long. So I know I have this card done for the most part. I did the same thing, except this one is the one where I did the 5.5 by 7. I used some of the spiced autumn washi. And then this is the crisp. This is this. If you guys have not seen this yet. Oh, this, I did put this in the collection. This is a subscription item. It's the crisp autumn paper pad, and it is stunning. I mean, look at this. It's just stunning. I may have at least 2. So I just chose a piece of paper. I wanted that to kind of be the star of this show. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to use, this is where we're going to use our penny embossing powder. I do have one of those Grateful Harvest stamps, the Grateful, but I don't know if I want to use that. Thank you, Francie. So I'm going to kind of put that aside. I do have a green one, but I still don't know if I want to use that for sure. I'm thinking, where's that card? You know what? I think we're going to put this little pumpkin on our card, but we're going to put it on the inside. So this is the Grateful. So this is a good way. I included both the stamp and the die because they're both available yet. And it's a 2x2, 2x3. But I'm just going to use this. And all I did was take some Simon Hurley ink on some Not Your Mama's paper. And I just went direct to paper and I cut it out. I mean, look at this great pumpkin. I mean, you could add some shading if you really wanted to, but I don't think it needs it. And I'm just going to add this to the inside. I knew I cut this out, and I did it in green because I knew I wanted to include it. And I think this is one of the items that's going to be retired. So I thought I would like to include it so that people can get that if they want, because it's a great one to have for Thanksgiving or Christmas, the fall, Christmas. This is Grateful for You. Not Christmas. I can't talk. Let me get a drink. For Halloween or fall or Thanksgiving. So this is just a nice price point for that. It is available separately. But like I said, somebody asked about these through the leaves. And the stamp, I don't want to show the stamp set because it's not available, but the leaves are still available. And you do not need the stamp set to use these leaves. I mean, look at how beautiful they are. They're nice size. I mean, you can do a lot with them. And if at one point there was a vellum that was called skeleton leaves, these cut those out. So what I did is I took some Not Your Mama's and I did some embossing ahead of time with some penny embossing powder. Penny, isn't it? Hear your name a lot? I always hear my name a lot during the lives, so I'm going to say your name a lot tonight. Penny, 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 penny. I don't use that embossing powder enough. And I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to die cut out a couple of these leaves. And then I think I'll do one out of jack-o'-lantern too. Now I know this paper is beautiful. I don't necessarily want to cover it up, but we're going to. Just because. We could have done vellum leaves, but I like the embossing of the, we can do I can put a leaf on here. That's all I would have to do to add a little leaf, but we're going to do it on here. We're just going to add a little bit, and then we're going to find a sentiment. I think instead of that really big one, we're going to cut out one in penny and one in jack-o'-lantern here. Yes, exactly. Brown shipping paper, lunch bag shipping paper. The shipping paper that penny. The shipping paper, Walter, that comes in our orders. You know, I mean, you crinkle it up and you'll have like, I actually put it in my burn because it's the perfect thing for me to use to start a fire in the wood fire. Like it's the best kindling. But what a perfect thing for, so maybe we'll do that. We'll do one with a lunch bag. But you could crumple that up and have this great, like crushed leaf texture, ink blend on it. It'd be like crinkly and like fall dead leaves. The good fall dead leaves, the ones we want to go crunching in. Yeah, we'll do this. It is pretty good shipping paper. Like I said, I have it all stuffed down in a bin because I found that it works better than newspaper for starting a wood fire, and Christmas or winter is coming. Whether anyone else likes it, I do. And I want to make sure that helps when we need to start a wood fire. So got a couple of these leaves. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a sentiment. I'm going to stamp that sentiment right on here. I'm kind of feeling like I'm missing something here. We need something else besides this. Maybe we need a pumpkin after all, even though there's 3 items. Let's find a sentiment. So I'm going to pull that same stamp set up and let's see if there's something that works on here. I'm kind of liking this thank you because it's kind of working perfectly. Instead of thanks, I'm thinking this thank you. Hello Autumn would work too, but it's a little long. So we'll do this one. Actually, maybe what we'll do, because I feel like we're missing something here, is I don't necessarily like that. We will do the Hello Autumn. I'm changing my mind. Is that okay? Oh, that's awesome. Well, yes. I think I've seen them, Walter, right? Some of those leaves, if I'm thinking properly. I think I know which projects you might be talking about. They are cool. All right, so I'm just going to pull this stamp off. And I'm going to stick this in here. We're just going to I'm going to do a piece of jack-o'-lantern over the top. That will be what we need. Like I said, if you have this stamp set, it's a good way to use leaves. But if you have any other leaves in your stash, it doesn't take much to cut a couple out. Oh, I remember. I grabbed some purple. I was going to put purple on that card, but we did green. Oh, well. Keep my straps for this purpose. So, yeah, you did some cool stuff with those leaves. So those are the ones I'm thinking of. All right. We better do this better. Do this better. I talked to Sean the other day because I'm hoping that I might get a chance to finally meet up with him in November. So I wanted to touch base with him and kind of let him know my plans. So, yeah, Francie, that would be good. What color should we splatter, do you think? Do we do black or brown? Brown and penny? Do we do brown and penny? I mean, I got to do brown. White. Orange I don't think will really work too much. Hi, Shalana. Splatter would be perfect. Thank you, Francie. That's a perfect. Okay, I did something I shouldn't have done. I did not anti-static powder to a list, so hopefully it works. How are you this evening, Shalana? We're going to grab the penny embossing powder again because we're going to add that. Splatter would be perfect. Gold or black? Okay. How about a little bit of each? A little gold and a little black. I got both of the shimmer splashes here. I got to grab my splat box, though, because I really don't want to get it. But I have a fan going. With my luck, it'll be everywhere. Splatter would be perfect. All right, we're going to heat emboss this really quick. I'm not using tweezers. Red. Red would be good, too. No tweezers tonight, Francie. But I'm not anywhere near my fingers. All right. We got our little Hello Autumn. You're tired. I'm sure Shalana travels a lot without giving any of her personal business away. So, you know what, Shalana? I'm right with you. My girls are playing basketball right now. That's what Tom's doing. He's watching the basketball game. And that's what my mom is doing. So she may not be chatting because I think she might have me on and the game on. So I hope that go Fever. I hope they're winning. I'm just going to trim this down real quick. I don't want a big, long sentiment. I am keeping this piece because you never know. The other two I'll throw away. And then we got to do some splatter. Let's go grab our splatter box. It's full of stamps. Okay. Because I was furiously creating samples with some of the other dual foils this week, and I pulled out all sorts of stuff, and I had my room all clean, you guys. It was so clean. My room was so clean. And then I created some samples. Okay. So it's going to be kind of hard to see. I think I'm also going to do a little bit of gold with the shimmer, gold chroma glaze, because that, that's my favorite. That'll get it a little extra shimmer. I'm just going to spray it just a little, and then we'll grab some of the shimmer splashes. I have, let's see if I can find it all. I got really close to the mic, so I'll try to be quiet because I have a loud voice. Where's my gold? Okay, so I have some shimmers. I have a shimmer splash and an aqua splash. I actually really like splatter. I don't do it enough. Let's see if I can turn this so you guys get a little more of my light. There we go. Yep, gold is, yes. So we're going to splatter on some of the gilded shimmer splash. And I think you might be right. We might throw a tiny bit of the red in there too. I think that's right. I can't remember who said that. Kate, yep, Kate said red. No, there's nothing. There's not such a bit. Well, yes, Francie, there is bad shimmer. You know what bad shimmer is? Unfortunately, it's for our troops. Troops can't have shimmer because it gets on them and then they can get found out easy and get hurt. So that's bad shimmer, but everything else is good shimmer. Right? Oop, that was a lot of splatter on that one. Okay. All righty. I'm going to add just a little bit more gilded. The gilded isn't going to show up quite as much because it's brown, but it will give us just enough. That was a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's bad for sure. Glitter and shimmer. And then I put that aside for a minute because I want to see if I can find, the red is no longer available, but I'm going to use it anyway. But you could use a chroma mist or you could use an aqua pigment. Actually, you know what I haven't used? Let's use this. This was part of the Christmas in July, that's the Nose So Bright, and I know it's got shimmer in it. I haven't used it yet. Shalana, that's the one thing I like about these is they have that little thing on there, but otherwise I like to use the end of an acrylic block, or I'll show you how another way we can do it. Give me a second. I got to get this kind of shimmery. Spray a little bit down here on I haven't used it yet. Ooh, that's very shimmery. So if it's not super liquidy and you add a little water, the other way you can do it is you can grab it. And this is a way I've learned too. It's okay. So I have it on here. Use a paintbrush and just tap it with the other paintbrush. You can also use or a pencil or something to tap, and that does a lot of look at the little tiny flat. I'll pull that closer. It's gonna be hard to see. You can see those little fine dots in there. So here, I'll put a piece of white in here. So let's see what this looks like. So I'm just gonna scoop a bunch of wet on there. I'm trying not to splatter on my desk. And then you just tap another pencil or another, and look at the fun. And I think depends on where you go. If you tap this way, you get finer dots. If you tap up this way, you get brighter dots, bigger dots. Isn't that's kind of cool? Okay. Now I need to wipe this off really good first because it's red, and you know red stains. I was really worried, you guys, that I was going to have bad storms and it was going to kick my internet off. But luckily that didn't happen. So that makes me happy. I was here. Okay. Yes, you can unscrew if it's in one of these. Yes, Walter, if it's in one of these, you can do it that too. You can tap, see, I mean, and you can tap like this. You get bigger dots sometimes with that. You can do light a little bit later. I mean, take mine off. But I do like to use a paintbrush to kind of get those finer dots. Yeah, let me pull this up a little bit closer. But I mean, look at some of the tiny, tiny dots I got for splatter. Now this isn't dry yet. So, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the shimmer yet. You can kind of see it. Great minds, exactly. And of course it's red on white, and so it's going to be a little more pinky because of that, but you could see by the dots. So let's grab my little heat tool. I don't have my fancy little thing yet, my multimedia mat. That's coming tomorrow, or no, that's coming next week. But let's see if we can at least dry these up a little bit. It's going to take a little bit for it to dry on this embossing powder because it doesn't necessarily want to sit. It's going to sit on top a little bit. There we go. It's getting set. Okay. So here are our it is a really nice red. I keep forgetting about it. It's been sitting on my desk on the corner. What I really wanted to use, you guys, I got it really late. Your meatloaf, what mat? No, my mixed media mat. They were released on Wednesday during the live. Christopher showed it last night, and I did order it during the live, so it'll be here, but it didn't ship till today, so it'll be here next week. So there's a little bit of that. Then I'm trying to get this so you can see. And then on the lunch bag, this one's still a little bit wet, so we're going to be a little careful. Better heat this one with a heat tool again. And get those that raven dry. That's better. That was a great idea. Thank you very much, Francie. And then here is the shimmer, the No So Bright when it's dry. So it's got that shimmer and a fun red. So this will be fun for Christmas. All right, let's get our card put together here. So we've got our autumn. I think we're going to tuck this one back underneath like this, and we're just going to pull it down, and we're going to tuck it right on top. Here we go. Yes, my mouthpiece thingy, Francie, that I have for my one part of my tooth that was naughty for me a few years ago. It sometimes makes me lisp and mess up my words. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner to stick these down. And then I've got a little leftover foam tape here. To stick up my sentiments. And there we have our card. Ooh, we need a little bit more foam tape because otherwise it's gonna fall. All right, and then I have a few other samples to show you of things I created this week. The design team has seen them, but they're extras. So you don't have to wait for, I don't know when I'm gonna share them on social media. I probably need to get up. I've been very naughty about that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put that right over our leaves, kind of like this. So there we go. And I did not put a center piece in here because I don't know necessarily I need it, because you can write on this one. I didn't obviously put it on the other one. So here are 2 book fold cards tonight. Like I said, 11 by 4.5, 4 1/4, and score at 5.5 and 7, or 5.5 and 6.5. The pattern paper should be 4 by 1 1/4, and I'll put these down. I mean, like I said, in case you want to take a screenshot. But I use the washi tape. This piece was 4 3/4, which is the same 4 by 3 3/4, which is the same as the inside piece. So when I post these on the fan club page, I will put those measurements in so that you can see them. So here are our 2 fun cards. I hope that was fun. I do too, Francie. I thought it was really fun. And it's not super hard. And I don't mean that fun folds are hard, but it was very quick. I mean, this one didn't take, it didn't take much long at all, especially if you kind of plan what you're doing, but if you cut them down and stuff, it was pretty simple. But before you guys go, I want to show you, I did some other dual foil this week, and I had not dual foiled anything yet in a while at all. And I did this and I was like, oh my goodness. So I have, first card I have is the A2, the Snowman, A2 Snowman stencil. I masked it off in different spots it's different, which is great. Yes, it is. That's what I think too, Francine. Like I said, you could just use a little bit of tape here and here and measure it off so you could stick a gift card holder right in here. I'll try making one of those tomorrow and show you guys what I mean by that. But this is the Snowman A2 stencil. I masked off the different areas and used some Simon Hurley inks. And then I did just a tiny bit of like the wolf around the outside. And then I used our new Pearl shimmer pen to color the edges. And I used some Fallen Snow glitter glaze. And then it says Hello Gorgeous, which is from the Primp stamp set and die, which is still impossible. And then this is just a Spellbinders die. So just trying to show off that this is a great A2 stencil. It's a whole card. After I was done, I should have put happy birthday, because that's the first thing he says. So that is not the dual foil. But here I got the Filthy Animal dual foil out, and I have 3 cards finished. The first one is this one. And I just used gold deco foil. And this is the Magnificent Wreath die. And it is just so fun. You don't need to do much to these, find a little florals and a bow. And look at how fun that is. Yeah, Frosty. He looks like Frosty. So there's that one. The Merry Christmas, Ya Filthy Animal. I literally did nothing to it but foil it. But what I did is, this is a piece I'm going to show you. This is a piece of pattern paper from last year that is no longer available. And since our pattern papers are foilable, I decided to foil it because I really don't want to use it on a card. And it gave me this kind of cool pattern because there must not be toner in all those spots. And that's how I matted it. And then I just threw on some of our flat back topaz crystals. And I thought that is just the perfect. I just have to put it on a card base now. But look at all that gold foil. The pictures don't do it justice when I took them. Walter, you might have seen them. I don't know. And then the last card sample I have for you tonight is also from that set. And I can't remember who used the wreath, the Magnificent Wreath, in a card and for base camp coming up. And that's what made me remember to go check it out. And I already had this wreath cut out. But this is that dual foil as well. And I did the gold dual foil. So you can see that. And I did, this is like actually, this is alabaster sparkle embossing powder that I cut. And then this is just white behind it, white card. So I did 2 layers of that. Some of our flat back crystals. This came from the archive set Good Tidings, which is some alabaster, and then the Magnificent Wreath. And then this gold, this is specialty cardstock. A friend of mine gave me a whole pile of this green and red, like shiny cardstock a few years ago. So I don't even know where it's from. I just thought I'd use that up. So, and then I matted it on some holly and then on a white card base. So, and I popped up obviously the bow on both of these. Oh, and this bow has some of that ornament gold shimmer mist, which you're not going to be able to see too much. You can kind of see it to give it some fun. So the dual foils are beautiful. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to switch us around here. Hopefully we will play with the some of the new release or some of the October or August release next week. And probably the embossing powder, because I didn't get to use last month's embossing powder and it's out of stock, so I can't play with it. But You guys have a great weekend. Stay cool. I will see you next weekend. And don't forget, there's a freebie at, I don't remember, it's $50 or $60, $50. Automatically adds to your cart. And thank you, you guys. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you next week. Bye.